Okay guys, so this is the first video in a series that I'm going to be doing over the technology part of some of the things with the slides that you're going to do. So you have to do it as a presentation, which means that it has to run on its own. But there are a couple of things we have to do first. So the first is that each slide, when it comes in, we know that we've already added, like this, we've already added the animation, right? So we've added that animation, and you can see over here, it shows basically how it animates and all of that stuff, right? Okay, so we should have that on every single page, regardless of what it is, whether it's a quote page or it's a topic page or any of that. Now you'll see here, I don't have all my pages done. I have all the quote pages done, but I don't have all the topic pages done because I wanted to make sure I had something that I could create this video for. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now I want to add a transition, which means the way that this comes in, if I start and I'm going to present to you, right? And I want you to see how that fades in like that. That's what we want. We want it to fade or do something along those lines, because if it doesn't, then it's just like bam, bam. It doesn't look good. So we want to make sure that it has that. So the way to do that is by going to this right here. You can see right here, it says transition. You click on transition, and here it says slide transition. Now mine are already set up, but you make choices here of what you want. There could be none, there could be a fade. You can do, and then you can test it out. So let's see, how it looks. You're going to want to set it right here. See how it tells you seconds? You're going to want to set it to right about, I would say 2 seconds. Okay. And then just take a look and see what it looks like. This is what a fade looks like. Okay. That's all right. So let me see what else I got. What other options are there? Okay. So I like the dissolve a lot. It's a lot like the fade, but it kind of comes in a little bit slower. I also really, really like the flip, but it's a little disorienting, a little bit. And then there is also the cube, which is kind of fun. And then there is the gallery, which is basically just moving left to right. I think it's a little boring, but whatever, to each his own. Okay. So I think that's all of them. Dissolve, fade, slide from right or slide from left, all of those, okay? So you can go through and change the transition on every slide so that every slide it comes in differently. So if I want to go to this one, then I don't want to dissolve. I want to do this one as a fade, okay? And then I go to this one. I don't want to dissolve. I want to flip. This one, I don't want to dissolve. I want a gallery, let's say. All right, so let's see how this looks if I start presenting it right now, because I've changed them all, right? So it has different ways of showing it because I chose all those different ways. Okay. All right, so that's one way you can do it. You can also go to the beginning and you can go, you know what, I want it to be consistent and I want to make things really easy for myself. So I'm going to choose the one I like, which is dissolve. I'm going to set it at about 2 seconds because that's what Miss Vela said. And then I'm going to apply it to all slides. So now every single slide will have the exact same transition. Okay. And then what you can do is you can test it, make sure it's what you like. That 2 seconds that you set it for, like when I click on this, 1, 2 is how long it takes. So you may want to change that. Keep in mind that when I'm watching this or when you're watching it, creating the video, you want to make sure that it gives people enough time to actually read what's on the screen. So it should be just like a regular video. So here I'm going to read all of this stuff and I don't want it to go too quickly. So I want to make sure that I choose that wisely. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to do. You have to choose transitions, and if you do that where it says apply to all slides, then your transitions will be set. Okay, so that's how to apply transitions to your presentation. So on each page, you have to have the piece of clip art that's animated, and then it also has to have a transition. If you're not sure if it's included, click on any slide. Okay, and I'm on this slide right here. It tells me there's a slide transition. Right here you can see slide transition. It's a dissolve. Object animation is the spin, and it is on this particular object. If I want to see what it looks like, I can click play, and it'll show me it'll give me a preview of what it will look like. Okay, so that is basically how to do transitions. Okay, so make sure you do that because that is a requirement, hence why it's a requirement.